Time to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, Francis. The current and the breaking news is revolving around two rookie contracts that have expired and now extended. Victor Oladipo and Steven Adams. Steven Adams, $100 million over 4 years. They're working very closely towards that. And Victor Oladipo signed for around $84 million for 4 years today. Wrap up the young talent, 23 years old, both of them going on 24 years old, been in the league for only a handful of years. Steven Adams showed some promise in the playoffs last year. His numbers, as they put it, do not jump off the page. But you know whose numbers literally scream for bloody murder off the page? Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook's.
Real quick fact, real quick stat, just a quick one. Just about his numbers, little stat. We have a little quote graphic. Across 3 games, point guard totals are up to 116 points, 37 rebounds, and 35 assists. He's the first player to record 130 and 30 totals in his team's first 3 games of the season. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'll tell you why in a second. Because the second half of that is the most important one. He is one of 4 players in NBA history to ever record 130 and 30 over any 3-game stretch. Because here's why people won't care about the first half of that. Well, the first 3 games of the season. I know Anthony Davis is doing these crazy things too, right? Usually, the regular season, people always say the first half doesn't matter. Actually, the first 75% doesn't matter. They're just numbers, teams. Doesn't get serious until you get into the playoffs. The second half of that statement holds true because it hasn't happened all that often.
Yeah.
Have you been watching this man?
He is frightening. We talked about how he's going to have a lot more freedom. Not even the freedom, just he now feels a lot more weight on his shoulders, and he's happily playing to his strengths, and he's given the ball a lot more. He's now, it is his team, and he's able to do these things, and that's why you said at the start, if he's got a great chance at averaging a triple-double the full season. But that is an important fact. There's people that will debunk the argument as at the beginning stages of the season, people aren't taking it as serious. You'll see teams blow out their opponents because, again, there's too many games. Sometimes you can't maintain that level of competition. You have to bring in rotation players. So that argument could stand if it hadn't already been such an amazing record that no one has done it at any point in the season. So that's including the playoffs. Or
He's in good company. LeBron, he's okay. Michael Jordan's pretty good. Larry Bird was pretty good too.
That is good company to be in, and it proves that Russell Westbrook, they need to do everything they possibly can, but as we said before, to try and hold this man to this team, build a team around him, support him in order to try and maintain.
You know what's funny about the LeBron, like they had like in the order LeBron, Michael, Jordan, and Larry Bird, the arguments of pundits. Well, LeBron's not Michael. Well, Michael's not Bird.
Well, Bird's not Westbrook.
Bird's not Westbrook. It's a constant argument. So here's the thing. While his numbers are obviously jumping off the page, which we knew, this isn't news. He was doing it like in the time when Durant was injured in Oklahoma City. These were the things that he was doing. The usage is a little bit higher than it should be because no reason to freak out. Oladipo's had a very slow start to the season. 3 games. Ooh, big deal. And Oladipo's a young, promising shooting guard, and the two of them make up, I would think, the most athletic backcourt. I'm trying to think, no one's faster than Russell Westbrook, or at least plays with the pedal to the damn floor for an entire game like Westbrook does. And Oladipo is obviously able to jump out of the building. They're the most athletic backcourt in the NBA. However, they're going to need to get Oladipo and Steven Adams, especially on the pick and roll, way more involved because they're going to have to release guys like Ilyasova in the offseason. They're going to have to release guys like Joffrey Laverne in the offseason. Andre Roberson, who is looking at being one of the better defending wings in the league. He started doing that in the playoffs last year. All these little role players that are going to have to go because your options is to either wrap up your core and then worry about your superstars in the future because you know that if they didn't do this, if they didn't sign they didn't sign Adams and Oladipo now, it would have cost them more money in the offseason, and we have no idea what is going on in Russell Westbrook's head. We don't know if he's thrilled in Oklahoma. We don't know if he's mad at Kevin Durant and is going to say, screw you, I'm going to go to the Cavs or the Clippers or the Lakers or the wherever to compete. We don't know if he's going to stay in Oklahoma City the rest of his career. And they're going to ask him every single game. And we're not going to know.
You won't get an answer even if they fall flat in their face, don't make the playoffs. You still won't get an answer until he makes that decision. People had no idea what Kevin Durant was going to do until that decision. They were just like, is he going to stay? They're going to build a team around him and Westbrook.
I was so convinced he was going to stay.
Yeah, everyone was convinced.
After the Ibaka trade where they brought in Oladipo, we're going, Adams, Oladipo, Westbrook, Durant, the best team in the playoffs last year.
Yep.
Blew a 3-1 lead, too.
But I think Steven Adams is a great acquisition to keep. I think Steven Adams, as we seen last year, I think is one of his most promising games was when he snuffed out Steph Curry in the playoffs last year, when he showed how versatile he can be, marking someone that you'd expect to be very shifty to try and handle, and he was a crucial factor in basically snuffing him out that game. So he's a versatile player. He's going to grow.
Snuffing.
Snuff is a very UK term. I snuffed him
good
out
word.
the game.
It's a good word.
And Steven Adams is a Kiwi, so I may as well just use it.
That's what
on
they
him.
said. They said that's his nickname is the Big Kiwi.
Yeah, he's a huge Kiwi. He is huge. I think that as he grows in confidence and his team shows more confidence in him as a player, if he doesn't run into Draymond Green as much so during the games and has his nut checked, he'll be fine. But I think there's a huge call for talented centers in this league that can shoot, obviously defensively sound, and most of them are pretty much locked up. I mean, you missed a boat on Al Horford unless you try to somewhat get DeMarcus Cousins. So I think they're in good stead to wrap up someone like him who's young and talented.
The big thing with Steven Adams is he's pretty good around the rim. The pick and roll, again, which is what we just talking about before, is where he excels the most with Russell Westbrook. Yeah. And again, he showed that all through the playoffs. The thing is, like, if his potential is tapped, and that's what he's looking towards in the future, 4 years for $25 million a year, with the fact that there's more money being flooded into the NBA this offseason, just wait till Steph Curry signs his $175 million contract. Wait, $170 million contract.
Dinner's on you, Steph.
It's going to happen. Wait till Chris Paul sees $170 million. Blake Griffin sees $180 million for 5 years. The 4 for $25 a year for a guy whose numbers I know aren't crazy, but a strong defensive presence. Is actually a good deal. It's not a value, but it's a good deal.
Look how much the Lakers just splashed to get center for them.
Timothy Mozgov.
That's
who, if you remember with the Cavs.
That's a lot.
Timothy, don't move your elbows. Block everybody like this. Yeah. It's like the roller coaster.
Who's the highest paid center in the league at the moment? Is it DeMarcus Cousins?
Is it Al Horford? Is he power forward / center? Might be. Did Powell get a lot of money going to the Spurs? He got a decent amount of money.
It's amazing that how much when you show the price range and who's getting paid the most. If you were to show them like a UK sports
Dwight
fan,
Howard might be the highest paid.
So show them to a football fan back in the UK and they're like, what? Like that's nothing to do with
game
merit.
checks.
There's nothing to they're not classified. LeBron's the highest paid player at the moment, but it all depends on when you get your contract and whether you're able to get that big a deal.
See, don't you wish you were better at basketball?
Yeah, because you could earn so much more money and don't have to be the best.
Yeah, you can be like the 40th best.
Unique, 40th best player, number 1 highest paid. Thank you very much.
Not bad.
Uncle Sam.
Start working on your jump shot. All right, comment below, like, favorite, and subscribe. What do the Thunder do? After signing these two guys, how do they convince Westbrook to stay in Oklahoma City? And do you think they have a backup plan if Westbrook leaves and they're going to try to splash in free agency for somebody else? Who knows? A lot is on the line. The Russell Westbrook trade rumors are going to start floating the second the deadline starts to come close, and then in off season, and then next year, and so on and so forth. We'll see you next time.